On the bus home from school, Rudy grew excited to see the eclipse. It was already close to starting. Every house on the block had people standing in their front yards staring up at the sun. Idiots, Rudy thought, my teacher told us not to do that. You could burn your eyeballs. The bus dropped him off and he walked home. Both his parents were in the front yard, captivated, unable to look away from the sun. You're supposed to use glasses, Rudy informed his parents. Their faces were a deep pink and blistered. They were so badly sunburnt they looked like boiling water had been splashed over their faces. Their eyes were bloodshot and motionless. Mom? Dad? Shh. Quiet, Rudy. He's speaking to us. Rudy grew concerned. He quickly took out his eclipse glasses and looked up toward the sun. The first phase of the eclipse was just beginning. Only a sliver of the sun was blocked out. Who? Rudy said. Who is speaking? His mother pointed up to the sky. He who watches behind the sun. His father added, it has been 1,000 years since the last sacrifice. Blood must be paid, or the sun will snuff out. Before Rudy could figure out what the hell was going on, the neighbors in their lawns all started cheering and applauding. His parents squealed with excitement. He's chosen you, Rudy. His mother began weeping tears of elation. He who watches behind the sun chose you. I'm so proud, son. I'll go get a knife. His father turned to the house and began walking slowly toward the door. It was evident that staring at the sun so long had burned holes in his retinas. As he walked, he waved his hands in front of him to make sure he didn't run into anything. Rudy panicked. All the neighbors were now looking at him. Their scalded faces shined crimson. They began blindly walking toward him, slow and clumsy. Rudy ran. Where are you going? His mother yelled after him. He bolted into his backyard, ran up his porch, and climbed onto the roof like he'd done a dozen times. He laid out flat and quiet, glasses still on, as the eclipse came closer and closer to blocking out the sun. The neighbors and his parents screamed for him down below. Blinded from sun exposure, none could find him. Finally, the eclipse reached totality. The sunlight was gone like water down a drain. It was much darker than Rudy expected, nighttime dark. Now dark and sunless, all his neighbors and parents began crying. They had snapped back to their senses. The sun's spell on them was over. His parents called out to him. He went down and hugged them. They wanted to know why they couldn't see. What happened? Rudy did his best to explain. It was difficult. It took half an hour. Rudy looked up. That's strange, he thought, the sun was only supposed to be blocked out for 7 minutes.